Hello guys, you're welcome once again to my YouTube channel. If you are new to the channel, kindly hit on the like and the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell and also leave a comment in the comment section today.
FTX, the world's third largest crypto exchange, went bankrupt overnight, from 32 billion to zero. This is one of the craziest stories you will ever hear. Sam Bankman-Fried is the founder and CEO of FTX. He also founded a hedge fund called Alameda Research. He got famous for being the guy that bought low-priced Bitcoin in the US and then flew to Korea and Japan to sell it at a higher price. A week ago, Alameda Research's financials were leaked. It showed a pretty scary relationship between Sam's two companies, and this is important for the story. So FTX has their own exchange token called FTT. FTT doesn't represent ownership in FTX. It just gave holders access to lower trading fees on the platform, kind of like loyalty program points. This is where the schemy stuff starts. It turns out that 6 billion of Alameda's 12 billion in assets were in this FTT token. And that alone isn't an issue, but if something were to happen to FTT, Alameda might not be able to sell all 6 billion and wouldn't be able to cover the debts they owe. It gets worse. It turns out Alameda was using that 6 billion of FTT as collateral to get loans from real customer deposits at FTX. So they were essentially putting up Chuck E. Cheese tokens as collateral to get real money to trade with. A super slippery slope if something went wrong. Enter CZ, the founder of the #1 crypto exchange in the world, Binance. CZ invested in FTX in the early days, but decided to sell his stake a while ago. As part of the buyout, CZ took $2 billion in the FTT token, so he owns a ton of it. A few days ago, CZ tweeted that Sam had been talking shit about him to regulators. In response, CZ told his 7 million Twitter followers that he planned to sell all of the FTT token that he had. Now, people knew this would crush the price, and so they started to panic sell their FTT token. The price of FTT spiraled. Alameda's 6 billion of FTT was quickly becoming worthless, and so they were going to go out of business. The problem is, if they went under, so did all that real money that they borrowed from FTX, which means FTX wouldn't have that real money to cover any customer withdrawals. So FTX paused withdrawals, and people panicked. Sam called CZ and begged him to acquire FTX to bail out their customers. Yesterday, they entered in a non-binding agreement for Binance to acquire FTX. #1 buying #3. But after looking at the financials, CZ backed out, and FTX just filed for bankruptcy. Anyone with money in FTX is never going to see that money again. Sam Bankman-Fried, who is worth nearly $15 billion on Monday, is now broke.
FTX was a cryptocurrency exchange, and it was one of the biggest actually. So the company's name is FTX Trading Limited, and it's a company, a defunct company, currently in bankruptcy proceedings that formerly was operating on crypto exchange and crypto hedge fund. The exchange was founded in 2019 and it has its peak in July 2021 and had over 1 million users and was the third largest cryptocurrency by volume. Now, it's so strange that this cryptocurrency company is now experiencing a bankruptcy. Now, the founders of this company are Sam Bankman-Fried and Gary Wan, and the CEO is John J. Ray II, and the headquarters is Nassau, New Providence in the Bahamas. Now, the FTS, before you can trade on their platform, you need a token. You need a token on, let's say, every exchange. Before you can trade on their platform, you need their native token. So the FTS token is just a utility token that provides you an access to the trading platform for you to have access to their features and services. Now, another thing that we must know is that Bankman or Sam Bankman-Fried is currently arrested in the Bahamas after the US files criminal charges against him. So the cryptocurrency exchange, which is the FTS, was one of the largest in the world until it collapsed in a spectacular fashion over the course of a week, helmed by the CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, whose fortune peaked at 26.5 billion last year. So this guy was actually a billionaire just last year, 2021, he was actually a billionaire with an amount of what? 26.5 billion just last year. And the exchange appears to have failed in part because of its close ties to Bankman-Fried's trading firm Alameda Research and the fact that the bulk of its assets have been created from the thin air. So these guys just sit in their room and what? They just created cryptocurrencies in the air, and people are using money to actually buy into this cryptocurrency. When you buy Bitcoin from this platform, it's not like you're actually buying the actual Bitcoin, but on their ledger, or which is the ledger or the transaction ledger or the crypto ledger, it is being recorded as Bitcoin. By in actual sense, you are owing a paper coin or a paper cryptocurrency. So these guys were the scam or the scheme or the fraudulent scheme they were running. And it appears that they have failed because most of their cryptos or most of the assets they own is not just an asset, but it's all fraud, a scheme game they have been running. Now, another thing is they try to leverage to or the assets that they own. I don't know how they do it. Just some few hours ago, charges were filed against some Bankman-Fried, and which has led to his arrest in the Bahamas. His BTCs into other wallets. So in actual sense, when you're coming to transfer your BTC to other wallets, I don't know how these guys do it, but somehow you are able to transfer a real BTC. But anything that remains on their platform becomes fraud. So these are the scheme. So today, some Bankman-Fried have been arrested finally, because a lot of people, millions of people, have lost billions of dollars because of this guy. They have actually really invested their money. So the statement from the Attorney General of the Bahamas, Senre Pinga KC, on the arrest of Sam Bankman-Fried. On 12 December 2022, the Office of the Attorney General of the Bahamas is announcing the arrest of the Royal Bahamas Police Force of Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, the former CEO of FTX. SBF's arrest followed receipt of formal notification from the United States that it has failed and filed criminal charges against SBF and is likely to request his extraction. Just look at this. He will be extracted, meaning they are coming for him. Once he's been arrested, he'll be extracted to the United States. Now, as a result of the notification received and the material provided therein, it was deemed appropriate for the Attorney General to seek FBF's arrest and hold him in custody pursuant to our nation's Extraction Act. So with the information received, or the information the Bahama Attorney General received, that some Bankman-Fried will be arrested, they have to arrest him first so that he won't be able to be arrested again by the US, because they are following what their nation's Extraction or Extradition Act. At such a point of a formal request for extraction is made, the Bahamas intends to proceed to it promptly, pursuant to Bahamian law and its treaty obligations with the United States. So they are just following protocols to the arrest. Responding to SBF's arrest, or responding to FBA's arrest, Prime Minister David stated, the Bahamas and the United States have a shared interest in holding accountable all individuals associated with FTX who may have betrayed the public trust and broken the law. So their prime minister, together with the US, that's the Bahamas and the US, have a shared interest to bring people to justice, or to bring to law anybody that breaks the law. And while the United States is pursuing criminal charges against FBF individually, the Bahamas will continue its own regulatory and criminal investigation into the collapse of FTX, with the continued operation of its law enforcement and regulatory partners in the United States elsewhere. Bro, it's not easy. It's crazy out there. Just look at this. It's serious, man. Look at this. Some Bankman-Fried being able to defraud all these people of such a huge amount of money. Let's look at other stories, how people or things people are saying about him.